elect the right governor, everything else is sorted. We're not thinking through this process of who are the people that will be the main players in that team, because it's a team, plus the Senate, the House of Assembly, the State House of the National Assembly, the State House, all of them, as far as I'm concerned, is a collective, is a team.
Yes,
so we do not actually think through the team, we just think of the one person.
Is it the people now or the person himself?
Yeah. All right, so let me bring in our guests. Badebo Rhodes Viver. Construction and commodity trading. He's one leader to be on the lookout for come 2023. I can tell you that for free. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, so it's such an interesting conversation. Thank you again for honoring our invitation. Yeah. So, hearing what the ladies talked about, Manny and Norma, I saw you nodding when Manny mentioned team. Yes. You know, when it comes to candidacy, because the question is, you know, towards 2023, is being the right candidate just enough, you know, when it comes to leadership? Because leadership on its own is a completely different ballgame entirely. You know, you can be elected as a leader, but that success for your tenure as a leader, it has a lot of factors that is linked to it. You know, so maybe you just want to touch on that before we now come to you.
Okay, so I think we need to go a bit deeper into it, because there are many people that presumably are the right candidates, but the timing in the country might not be the right time for them. There are many people that might seem as the right candidate, but the zoning requirements is not the right time for them. There are many people that might be perceived as the right candidates, but they have not done the work in their political parties to even emerge. So at the point where somebody is seen as the right candidate and they have emerged victorious, then they are a reflection of the people that have taken elections seriously, right? And they are supposed to be catering to the interest of those people. Now, the question now will be, we need to separate politics and politicking from governance. They are two entirely separate things. There are people that might be the head of the World Bank, right? And people might look and say, he'll make an excellent president, but has he done the politicking, the networking? Has he got the reach within the political party to be thrown up or to emerge as a candidate? Now, that will be a no. Except
I wanted
service.
A better life.
We wanted a better life to people as fast as possible at the best price as possible. That is great leadership. You look at people like Awolowo, similar thing. You see the free education drive that he did. This was not about his family. It was not about his cronies. It was not It was a vision for the Yoruba people in the Southwest, which then rippled on to the rest of Nigeria. That is empathy, right? And then intellectual capacity. In leadership positions have gotten. So that's something that I think the Speaker of the House of Rep actually talked about that today, that it might be worth revisiting the qualification requirements for anybody that wants to lead. Because if you're going to lead us, you know, you have to
come in, because you give us a bit of your political history. You pulled, I mean, from what I gathered, you pulled over 400 elections for the senatorial seat that you ran in Lagos. How possible is that? Because I don't really see you more like a politician. You look from your profile, you are more like a technocrat, right? And people have always said that it's not, technocrats really don't really get but you were able to pull that, you know, that much vote. So how was that possible?
Well, I think, you see, there's been a big mistake in Nigeria where, you know, for a long time, and I'm sure most of us of this generation, our parents told us to not get involved in politics, that politics is for bad people. Intellectual, you have to have the capacity to be able to mix with the high and low. It's like a poem by Rudyard Kipling. You have to not lose the common touch, however high you go. And that's what keeps you grounded and allows you to have empathy.
How were you able to? I'm sure amongst your team, you have older people.
So I came back and I joined Koa Party and I ran for local government chairman, after which I then went to the PDP. Now, you must understand that every political party is looking for good material. Yourself to them, showing that, you can count on me. I'm not going to just disappear. I am here for you and we will talk. I want you to be my friend, because on the day of election, you are going to be in one position. Seriously? And two, the times and seasons, right? So that's why a Buhari was able to emerge, because the times and seasons were calling against corruption.
Yes.
Everybody was anti-corruption, 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 right? So these are the factors that play into the leaders' minds when they come together and say, okay, you know what, this is the direction we should go. And you have to do the work to endear their trust.
Manny, come in.
Okay, so I would like to ask my question on the godfatherism in politics. So if you, as a young man, you have your godfather, in quote,
So our leader was balancing interest. You notice they took him to court as well. There were many allegations against him, but nobody can sit back.
free. All right, so by the way, I loved you kept touching on empathy. You know, I was going to ask, you know, like what you think about Nigeria and what do you think the qualities of an ideal leader should be like, because you kept on harping on empathy. Are there more, or, you know, we can just land on empathy?
Well, I think empathy is number one. And empathy is not something you just get. Empathy comes from relationships, interactions, you know. I say that we have and I say that because when you have a friend in Kogi and you've spent time with him, you know important. And then capacity, intellectual capacity. The idea to know that I don't know enough of this, so I need to bring somebody that knows enough of this. And to be able to paint the clear vision of where you're trying to take it. Because in every state, there's a civil service. In every state, the people to do the work exist. You are just there as the captain of the ship to steer it in the direction that you want it to go. And to also set example. So if you're not a wasteful leader, the rest of that chain cannot be wasteful. You know, so that's really what, it's more of a symbolic position. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of aggrandizement by politicians, but ideally, if you look at fight everything, right? And eroded a lot of our values, right? But if it can change like that, it can change back.
So how do we go back?
Go and there are a huge population.
People that you are, what's it called? How do they put it?
Independent candidates?
Yes, independent candidates and technocrats that they believe that in terms of the middle class. Middle class rather carry their vote and go and vote
A technocrat.
those kinds. Forget it. That vote, as far as I'm concerned, you just wasted the vote.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They will stand strong and argue with you
Because they
you
don't know that it's
so
not
how
enough
we,
to
so
be.
how do
If you search a hashtag on Twitter or social media, hashtag get involved, you see so many tweets, so many efforts of, for instance, we published the phone numbers of all our local government chairmen and broke it down so that if you're interested, you can call him. We made arrangements with them so they would direct you directly to your ward so you can get involved. So many people
they
actually.
pick those calls?
Yes, they did.
Really?
I mean, we've gotten over 3,000 people.
Really?
I'm talking upwardly mobile people that will contribute to elections. They've joined the party on that
Awesome.
effort.
That's
So
nice.
we've engaged in that direction. And you're right, there's a lot of voter, not just apathy, but illiteracy as well.
Yeah.
And that is changing. local government who's going to emerge as a presidential candidate.
Absolutely. I like what you're
when.
saying, because you know why? I was listening to the radio on my way driving and all of that. Everybody keeps saying that Akinwumi Adesina is a good candidate for presidency, that he should run for office. I just looked there. You think it is because is a mixture. You can't just be good at one thing.
Exactly.
You must be good.
To bring it to fruition, admit when you make a mistake and apologize as well, because we're all humans.
Nigeria.
Always be ready to explain confusing policies to the populace and give them hope. The right candidate should reject tribalism, religion, and sentiments. This is from Bissy.
Very, very
Which is
articulate. Thank you,
very,
BC.
well articulated. Thank
So,
you.
so this person didn't put their name. Says, "Good evening, ladies. The problem really." Sorry. You touched on education. Very well. You know, that's the truth, because I understand
That's why they won't come
the
for you.
implication of putting the wrong person on that seat. So we still have issues with stomach infrastructure. If you were to be the right candidate to lead in a place where there's so much hunger, how would you navigate? Because you still have to find a way to balance that
the need
hunger,
of the people.
at the same time tell them that this is a better.
Now, some people avoid being outrightly buying votes.
You or your team would have, if given the opportunity, that you want to use to engage especially this middle class,
No,
which
I
is
think
a
we are stubborn.
serious issue.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that amongst all parties there are individuals that stand out in terms of their integrity and all of that. But you see, that that general blanket statement that says PDP, APC, they are all birds of same feathers and all of that, how would you be able to overcome, I mean, seeing that there's going to be a lot of vengeance voting, like you just want to vote anything but APC or PDP, you know, and I know that it will also be a very big mistake.
Exactly.
Right? I know, but not many people are calm enough to understand that this is not
Or
the way.
educated enough.
Yes, you know, to understand that this is not the way. So how do we surmount that challenge?
Okay, so for me, like I said, a lot of activism has been going. We're always fighting ourselves because we believe in democracy. We believe in it so much There is no, when people talk about godfatherism, yes, there are people that have been in the party and have paid their dues, but you still see a young upstart to come and fight the person. But then in APC, on your way to the field, your grandfather will call you and tell you to step down because somebody has called him and threatened him.
You write a check from PDP to Waze. I want you to also speak to your fellow contestants, because sometimes they're right enough to lead. And what would you say to us, the electorate?
Okay, so to the candidates that feel that they are great candidates, candidacy is more than your education, your background, or even one of the parties that at least has a structure to defend your votes in whatever constituency that you're interested in. So now, wasting your votes with somebody that does not even have up to it's going to be revealed very soon.
But thank you so much. I think we've had a fantastic. I hope you had a good time with us.
It was lovely.
We would really love to have you back. Honestly, thank you for what you do, and we hope that you're successful in all your endeavor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Norma. We had a fantastic show. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow all our social media engagements. And remember to like, share, comment, and invite your family and friends to watch and follow the conversation. If you loved our guest today, he's on social media, go and follow him so that you would understand where he's going to, the direction he's going to. Although your account is private, you have to undo that. No, really, why was I having difficulty tagging you? All right. Great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.